Yesterday I had a customer ask me, how I set up the fork tube. So for the steering, I've got some here that are already cut. Got 3 of them for these 2 bikes, so there'll be 4 when I get all done with this, doing mathematics. On the gold wings, they're 10 inches long, so I simply mark that. The way I get these out, I just loosen the pinch bolts, top and bottom, pull the things out, and that's pretty much it. I do gut them out, clean out all the oil and everything so it doesn't make a big mess. The springs and everything I pull out of here go right in the old dumpster. These will go in the dumpster. They're really not worth anything. I'm sure somebody's out there thinking, wow, you should put them on eBay. Well, try to sell this stuff on eBay and justify the time it takes to get pretty much nothing. Shipping costs are kind of tough and that kind of thing. So I dumpster all this stuff. I've got a guy that comes and picks up my steel, and he takes these with him, and that's just fine. Now these things, these tubes are hardened steel, so I can't cut them on my bandsaw. I have to do a chop saw thing on, which is perfectly fine. It just makes more noise and more sparks. Yeah, believe it or not, I bought this chop saw about 10, 12 years ago on Harbor Freight, and it still works. The last time I bought it at Harbor Freight, I cut 1 piece of metal and it burned out. Okay, so back over here, one thing I do with these is I take this edge. I take them off of this so I don't bleed all over the place. And I'm concerned about the guy who picks up my metal. If he was to grab this on the end here, this is razor sharp. So I cut that edge down just for his benefit. And this goes in the dumpster, and that's the way he takes them. Okay, so the next step is I create a plug that goes in here that's got a threaded nut on it, which we will show when I get that part done. Okay, this is what happens when I'm done with these things. I actually cut a piece of 1/4 inch material like this, drill a hole in the center, big enough for the nut, which is one of these. It's just a coupling nut. And then it's welded on the back side. Then I chuck it in the lathe, and I trim this piece, this square piece down so it fits inside the tube, weld it, and that's your fastener. And this one here has plugs on the end, so water doesn't get in. And we're going to go ahead and insert those in here. I got the other bike already done. But easy peasy. There's one in. And they stick down about a 1/2 inch. So it clears this when I put the bar across. So here's the trick on these top ones, why you don't have to take the shelter off or this or anything. You take this piece of plastic and you stick a socket under it like that. This is actually a fairly long socket, which is used for the wheels, the nuts on the front wheels. And this is a 12 millimeter, and it's a ratchet type open end wrench or whatever. You get like 1 click. So you go 1 click at a time till it's tight. Yeah, that plastic thing is really a pain. There. The other side's worse because you got to weasel this past a couple cables, but it can be done. This is the trick. You got to get one of these. Otherwise, I don't know how you do this. Here's a little advice. If you ever take this shelter off or have to do anything, that plastic shield that I showed you on the last one, I had to pull out of the way. You notice it's missing on this one. On a lot of these gold wings, it's gone. People learn real quick. The first thing you do with that plastic thing is you take it off and throw it in the dumpster. It makes change in fork oil and that stuff 100 times easier. Just get rid of that thing. It really serves no purpose except it covers up the top of the tubes. I guess if you don't like looking at that, you know, but it doesn't bother me. Anyway, my advice would be to take that thing and pitch it.